The town is one of Asia's largest electronics manufacturing bases and is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But more than 50 years ago, Penang was a fishing port whose coastline was occupied by the Japanese army, and years later was even home to prisoners. Penang's clear waters and pristine beaches hide dark secrets, and I'm on a mission to uncover them.
Penang lies on Malaysia's northwestern coast. My first target is the remote island of Jerejak, southeast of Penang. Today, it's a scenic destination for travelers escaping the hustle and bustle of city life. But its sunny facade hides a secret. Less than 20 years ago, locals knew Jerejak as Malaysia's Alcatraz. How did the island gain such a sinister reputation? The answers remain hidden within its dense jungles, and I aim to find them.
Hi.
Like Alcatraz, the only way in and out of Jerejak is by water.
Thanks a lot.
I have arranged for boatman Sukri to take me there.
So that's Jerejak Island?
Yeah, Jerejak Island.
So can you tell me, what does Jerejak mean?
Jerejak is pagar.
Oh, fence.
Yeah.
Ah, so like a fence for the mainland.
Yeah.
Ah, that makes sense. A lot of sense.
I meet up with Om Prakash, a technician who maintained the island's electric works from 1969 to 1978.
There are more staff in prisons.
For 9 years, Om Prakash and his family lived in close proximity to a prison that occupied the northern part of the island.
These are the 3 buildings left, you see. That time, you could see the prisoners working everywhere, here and there and all, you see.
It looks like they didn't need high walls or electric fences. The waters around the island must have served as natural barriers. Living conditions here were frugal.
There's not much comforts. I mean, we look around. This is probably where they would have been sleeping, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how many people do you think they would have put?
One bay, I think, about 4.
This?
To this. One bay is about 4 people.
One bay.
4 people like that.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bays on the one length.
Say 50 over about 60 people.
50 to 60 people.
Yeah.
At its peak, Jerejak Prison was a sprawling complex that held almost 1,000 people. The first inmates of Jerejak Prison in 1969 were dissidents involved in Malaysia's civil unrest. After the 1980s, the prison population included the likes of drug dealers and murderers. Jerejak Prison was eventually shut down in 1993 as authorities relocated the inmates to prisons in southern Malaysia. Amazingly, remnants of the prisoners' stay here survive to this day.
Come check this out. Here we've got a handwritten letter that's been posted up here on the wall. Could have been written by someone who was in here, a prisoner, and maybe their family sent them. But it was pasted up here along with the girls and all these things. And I think what all these things represented to the prisoners here was some kind of small glimmer of hope, you know? This, I mean, would have been the only connection to their past lives and their emotions.
Jerejak Prison was not the only place that gave the island its dark reputation. Decades before, the colonial British already began using the island as a place to hold society's outcasts. From 1910, the British used Jerejak as a quarantine center to screen the thousands of new immigrants pouring into the booming port city of Penang. By the 1930s, their plans evolved, and Jerejak also served as a secret detention center for Malaysians critical of British rule. The quarantine and detention centers are located on the western part of the island.
Faisal.
To take me there, I secure the help of Faisal Omar, a local guide. His job has taken him across every concealed footpath and relic on the island.
All right, should we go?
Done. Okay, this is the trail. We call it Balkers Trail, 1.5 kilometers to the quarantine block. Yep.
The Balkis Trail starts from the west coast of the island and leads right into its densest jungle further south. It's like a highway that will take me straight to the lost British detention facility.
What's this, Faisal?
Okay, this is a British detention camp.
So here are the actual cells back here.
Yep.
This is a guard post.
Guard post.
Guard post over here.
Back there. We have 12 cells here, 6 over here and 6 over here. And in the middle have a barricade. They cannot communicate with each other.
So they would have been completely cut off?
Yes.
Jerejak Island became a detention center from as early as 1930, when the British began locking away anti-colonial individuals without trial. By the end of 1949, an estimated 8,500 people were detained. These ruins are one of many unrecorded cells rumored to hold these political prisoners.
Oh, man. So 5 people would have been stuffed in here?
Yep, at one time.
No way of getting out, huh? Quite solid. It is quite stuffy in here, you know, as we're standing in here. We've got the door, so there would have been, you know, a cell door there. We've got here a little opening, and then we've got these little bits up here, these little holes that would have allowed air and some light, but overall, not too much airflow. And so you can imagine, with 5 guys in here in the tropics, it would have been very miserable.
The British finally abandoned this detention center in the early 1960s. For years after, it became a shelter for wild animals. Some of them even made it their permanent home. Faisal takes me further down the Balkis Trail to another British relic that continues to baffle the locals as to its original purpose. The site contains a series of concealed wells that lead into underground bunkers. Their exact size and date of construction are unknown. It's believed that the British could have used them as an ammunition dump or even as a prison during World War II. With Faisal's help, I hope I can solve this mystery.
Faisal, is this it?
Yes, it.
These are the wells.
Yes, is it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 wells in a straight line.
Yeah, in a straight line.
All right. What's this over here?
There is air holes.
Because the wells would have been sealed off.
Yes.
And people are in there, so there's got to be a way of getting air in. Another air hole. Interestingly enough, the air holes are kind of parallel or in line with the actual opening of each of the larger wells. And here, there's the third well. We've got another 3rd air hole. And look at that. Beyond the fallen tree, just like I suspected, we've got our 4th air hole. And look what we've got over there, our 4th well. So, from the 4th well to that, what do you say, maybe about 10 meters? 10 meters in length?
10 meters.
That's just the surface, all right? But we have no idea until we actually get down into the bunker how large the cavern or the bunker is. This place is enormous, a little bit different from the surface. When I was up there and kind of mapping it out, from the visual we had up there, I kind of assumed that this was one big, massive room. But once we got down here, I discovered that it's actually individual chambers. So each of those 4 openings we saw is an opening leading to one chamber.
Having descended 30 feet into this underground bunker, I begin measuring its true dimensions. The bunker is actually 4 large chambers, each one measuring approximately 15 by 30 feet. If the locals are right, and if it was used as a prison or ammunition dump, I should be able to find clues that will support their theories.
If this bunker was used as a place for holding prisoners, why am I not seeing any kind of evidence of markings? We see water runoff that's coming through, but no kind of markings. And I'm trying to do a little bit of detective work here. I'm just running my foot along the corner and trying to see if I can find any kind of hole, and I've been doing that for some time now. How would they have drained out water? I mean, back in the day, if you're going to be storing ammunition, you want your gunpowder dry.
According to Faisal, another popular belief is that the bunker was used as water storage tanks for passing ships. I find that hard to believe since it is located deep within the jungle, without any pipelines or drainage to make it an effective storage tank. We may have solved the bunker's real dimensions, but its true purpose will have to remain a mystery.
What an experience to have been able to go down there and explore something that most people have never ever had the opportunity to check out. And what's really cool